Hello and welcome. He brought the story of Mahatma Gandhi to life in the epic movie by Richard Attenborough and won himself an Oscar in the process. His range of acting covers everything from Shakespearean characters to violent street thugs, bringing to each role his own unique style. This week on One, meet the international thespian star, Ben Kingsley.
This girl she's a throwback to a completely different time. She has to be wooed.
The Yorkshire-born Shakespearean actor, originally named Krishna Bhanji, has consistently proved his versatility with a wide range of roles. From the terrifyingly thuggish mobster Don Logan in the disturbing 2006 cult movie Sexy Beast, for which he received an Oscar nomination, to the intense and proud Iranian former military officer struggling to cope as an immigrant in America in the House of Sand and Fog.
My name is Gandhi, Mohandas K. Gandhi.
Well, whoever you are, we don't want you here. I suggest you get back on that train before it leaves.
In spite of his years of talented acting, it was in 1982 that life as a performer changed dramatically for Kingsley. Cast in the iconic role of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, India's legendary Mahatma Gandhi, Kingsley brought the character to life in an unforgettable way, earning the Best Actor Academy Award for the multi-Oscar winning movie. Kingsley's achievements and contribution to the arts were recognized by the British establishment, naming him a Commander of the Order of the British Empire, and then knighting him. Sir Ben Kingsley, as he is now, continues to collect awards for challenging roles that he takes on with relish, but has also started to focus on developing his own production company to make films on subjects that arouse his thespian passion.
So Ben, good to talk with you.
And you.
I've been terrified of you since Sexy Beast, by the way. And you know, that role you played in there was pretty terrifying. So unlike anything else I'd seen you in. Do you specifically pick roles to try to dispel any preconceived notions about you as an actor?
There's no strategy whatsoever. There's no rhyme or reason. It's an act of recognition. When I was offered Sexy Beast, as soon as I turned the first 2 pages, it was as if that character was saying, you. As ruthlessly as he asked his colleague to do the job, he was saying to me, do the job.
Do the job.
What?
Do the job.
No, Don.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I can't.
You can.
I can't. Don, don't do this.
Do what?
Look.
What am I doing?
This.
This what?
I met the director instantly, within seconds of meeting him, Jonathan Glazer. We got on extremely well. We shared the same slightly encrypted language, which is always a good sign when you know that you're really going to hit it off with somebody, that you can be in on the same secret joke. And I think that there was a kind of secret joke to Sexy Beast. For my part, I think I recognized him and his violent plea to be loved and to be seen and to be embraced by his old friend, to be let in, was the closest I could define to the cry of the unhealed, abused child. So that instead of playing Don Logan as a villain, I was able to portray him as a profoundly unloved child.
No, it's interesting. You're one of the few actors to have won all 4 major actor awards on Oscar, BAFTA, Golden Globe, and Screen Actors Guild. Now, does that give you the kind of flexibility to pick and choose?
I don't know. I think flexibility has to come from within. I think that accolades and external praise is hugely welcome. It's very gratifying, especially in the film industry, because at the end of a play, there is the ritual of going on stage and taking your bow. And so it's brought to a conclusion. At the end of the film, they say, okay, boys and girls, thank you very much, it's a wrap. What? Is that it? Yes, and maybe 6 months later you'll see the film. But to go to an award ceremony, you have a chance of taking a modest bow, and you have a chance of expressing your gratitude to the audience. But the flexibility, I believe, must come from within. You must have an appetite for occupying or portraying, as a portrait artist, as many different facets of the human condition as you can and explore as many dynamics and patterns of human behavior as you can as a storyteller. I have, I think, that appetite for change. I have that appetite to inhabit as many different conditions and faces as I possibly can whilst I'm an actor. So I think that the actor has to have the appetite first. Then the choices will come because you attract them.
Your father was a Kenyan-born Indian, and
Zanzibar.
And how did he influence your upbringing? What sort of elements of his character were projected on you?
I think he was profoundly homesick. I think there was a terrible restlessness in him. I think the influences on us as children were probably far more cultural than philosophical. We were able to go to the cinema with him as young children. We were able to go to the ballet. We were able to go to the theatre. We were able to travel around Europe in his big family car and see Spain and France and Switzerland as young children. We were educated, my brother and I, at an extremely good school in England, Manchester Grammar School. But his personal influence on me is something that I cannot address myself to this day. It remains a mystery. And perhaps some of the most satisfying roles that I have played, or roles that I have felt something shift behind my sternum while playing them, are the roles that have been profoundly patriarchal, as in Gandhiji, as in Otto Frank, father of Anne Frank, as in Simon Wiesenthal, as in Isaac Stern in Schindler's List, as in Colonel Berani in The House of Sand and Fog. These, I mean, Anne Frank's father, Otto, asked the people in Auschwitz to call him Papa. And something about that patriarchal, paternalistic strength is absent from my family history. I have fathered myself. I say this in no disservice to my dad. He did his best as an exiled, struggling GP in the north of England. But I have fathered myself. But maybe there are some genetic elements in him and his extraordinary father, King Clover of Zanzibar, that have given me this appetite for exploring that patriarchal side of a man's journey.
In contrast to your father being a doctor, your mother was an actress and model, and of descent that was presumably German or Russian Jewish. Was it your mother's own thespian interests that pushed you towards acting?
They called my aspirations to be an actor this acting lark, and hoped that I would grow out of it. Well, Mom, if you're watching, I'm still trying to grow out of it. She's quite thrilled by what's happening. She can't really leave her bed, but my sisters bring her DVDs and reports of what's going on. So I think she's coming around to the fact that maybe it's a good thing if I hang in there just a little bit longer.
Now you're actually named Krishna Bhanji.
Yes,
was your original.
It's an odd name because Krishna is a Hindu name,
right,
and Bhanji is an Ismaili Khoja Muslim name.
And you actually, I gather you took the name Ben because that's what your father was called, I guess from Bhanji, an abbreviation.
Yes, that was his nickname at Dulwich College School.
But then people say that it was because you were worried about your acting career being hampered by a sort of foreign name that you changed it to Ben Kingsley itself. Kingsley,
may I just interject, comes from my grandfather's nickname because he was called King Clove because he was the enormously wealthy, successful spice trader in Zanzibar until he lost everything in the Great Depression. And I did, in the 60s when I started acting, and I did go with my dad. I have to give him that credit. He drove me to the audition. And I did two identical auditions. I did one as Krishna Bhanji, and I did one as Ben Kingsley. They were in two theatres so close geographically. The first one said, "It's a wonderful audition, but I don't quite know what we're going to do with you. how are we going to cast you in our plays? They didn't hear a word. Next audition, when can you start? It's a lot to do with perception.
And that time in England as well, it was in the 60s, which also was a time when Asians were just, I guess, sort of up and coming and still something foreign to most people, especially in the north of England.
Yes, but being of such an extraordinary mixed genetics, I was able to go from Krishna to Ben and nobody batted an eyelid.
Right.
You know, it's bizarre that I changed my name from Krishna Bhanji to Ben Kingsley in order to play Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi.
Ironic, yeah.
There's a circle.
What do you recall of those early days acting at Manchester Grammar School first?
Didn't act at school beyond the age of 13. I did one show for the National Youth Theatre, Henry IV Part 1, I think it was, and I was 14 then. And my memory of that was I carried a spear and I had to walk down a modest flight of stairs, 3. I managed to fall down 2 of the 3 stairs, holding my spear. And I thought, that's it, that's the end of your career. You'll never carry a spear, you'll never work again. Then I left grammar school, qualified to do medicine with my A-levels in physics, chemistry, and biology, and realized that I, like holding a cork underwater, something relaxed and the cork raced to the surface. I realized profoundly, having visited the Royal Shakespeare Company and watched a particular brilliant actor in a great role, my resistance totally collapsed, and I knew that that's where I had to be, and that's what I had to do.
I have more questions for you. We'll be back with more one-on-one with Sir Ben Kingsley in a moment.